Know Jesus Christ right now, I would be very afraid by the state of affairs in our world. As we see terrorism on the rise, this recent attack, of course, in Paris, and now Mali. And, Al-Qaeda, for a long time, was a top dog terrorist group. They were responsible for 9/11, for bringing down the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. But along comes this group called ISIS, initially dismissed as a JV team. They've now emerged with technological savvy and skills that we have not seen previously. And they were behind the Paris attack. They were behind downing the Russian airliner, and they threatened to strike in other places. It's frightening, and we wonder, well, maybe we can talk with them. We can negotiate with them. No, you can't. You need to know that their objective is a global caliphate. What does that mean? That means they want Islamic rule on planet Earth over all the nations, and they'll not be satisfied until they get it. Then add to this the fact we see the emergence of Russia into the Middle East. And we see Russia standing by Syria, and for the first time that we can remember, we see an alliance of Russia and Iran coming together. You say, yeah, big deal. So what? So what? You read your Bible? Read Ezekiel 37, 38, and 39. If Russia is Magog, and I believe she may well be, she has an ally that marches with her as she invades Israel in the last days, and that ally is identified as Persia, which is a simple name of Iran. In fact, you'll meet people from Iran today that will still identify as Persians. And so here's an alliance that has not existed before between Russia and Iran. And we read of thousands of Russian troops and thousands of Iranian troops stepping in to supposedly wipe out ISIS and help Syria. But all I see is a bunch of Russian troops and a bunch of Iranian troops going into the Middle East. And I know in the last days, that's where it's all going to come to a conclusion. Now, I'm not saying this series of events we're seeing now could lead to Armageddon. But I am saying these series of events we're seeing right now could lead to Armageddon. I don't know if it is. But I would be a fool if I were to say it couldn't be. Because, when these events begin to transpire, they're a little bit like dominoes, closely stacked together. When the first one falls, the others also fall in rapid succession. Well, I don't want to go too far into this because this is another message, and I will give this message in the very near future, if we're still here. No, I'm kidding. But here's my real point, because that's something we need to talk about and really look at all of this in the light of Bible prophecy. But my point is, as believers, we look at these things, and we're not fools. We're thankful for the military, right? Yes, we are. I am. We're thankful for law enforcement. We're thankful for those that put their lives on the line and defend us. We're thankful for security in our own church that watches over us, so we're practical. But our trust is not in the military, and our trust is not in law enforcement. Our trust is in the Lord, and we know He's in control. So my point is, the non-believers look at the empty tomb and they freak out. The believers look at it and there's a little fear, but it's mixed with joy. And that's how we see the events right now. It is frightening, quite honestly, but there's an excitement because we know Jesus said, when you see these things begin to happen, what should you do? Look up, for your redemption is drawing near.